Hey y'all, hey, welcome to my channel. I am Erica, and here I talk about all things related to my gastric sleeve surgery that I had 3 weeks ago. I am 21 days post-op. It is Monday, and each and every Monday in this beginning phase, I would just like to come to you all and give you all an update on how my week is going. Because I am fresh, my body is healing and it's getting adjusted to what's going to be my new normal. So there's a lot of changes right now. From week to week, from day to day, there's a lot of changes. So I want to do the best I can just to give my little insight on my experiences on what I'm going through. So this video might be a little bit longer simply because this is my first one. So I'm going to do an update for week 1, week 2, and for week 3. So let's just jump right in. So week 1, what week 1 looked like for me. So my surgery was on a Monday. I arrived at the hospital at about 11. My surgery was at about 1, and it took a few hours, and I woke up from here to there after they rolled me in my room. I woke up a little bit here, a little bit there. Nurses came, check on me, check my vitals, give me medicine, and give me a little bit of water. But I didn't really get up until about 10:30 that night. So once I did get up, the nurse would come, give me little, so the nurses would come, give me little medicine cups full of water, and then also help me get up so I can walk around every few hours. So walking is super, super, super important post-surgery. 1, it helps to prevent blood clotting, and 2, it's also just going to help you heal, and maybe decrease some pain as well. A lot of people after surgery complain of having trapped gas, and it can get painful. So walking helps to alleviate that. People say it, doctors say it, nurses say it. So walking is it's very, very important right after surgery. Not to say go walk a marathon, but just making sure you're getting up and walking as you can very frequently. So that was pretty much day 1. On Tuesday, I was discharged from the hospital around 1 p.m. Once they saw that I was walking, getting around fine, my incisions looked good, all my vitals were good. I was able to drink fluids. I was able to get fluids down and keep them down. Once they saw everything was good, I was discharged. So I was in the hospital for about a little over 24 hours. I got there 11 a.m. on Monday, and I was out 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So how did I feel? I felt tired, but as far as pain, I felt fine. I was definitely I had some discomfort. I wouldn't even call it a pain. I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say maybe I was a 4. I don't know. 4 is fair. I was about a 4, maybe sometimes a 5. They discharged me with a few prescriptions, one for nausea, which I did not have to take. Thank goodness. I was never nauseous. I haven't been nauseous. 2 was for some Tylenol, and then it was some other pain medication, 1 in the form of a liquid and 1 in the form of a capsule, which I had to break open and just mix up. So I would just mix up my Tylenol, the prescription, the liquid prescription, and the powder, and I would just take that. I think I had to take it 2 to 3 times a day. They only gave me enough for 3 days. I think I took it for 2 days. And I was fine. Like I said, I came home on a Tuesday. That Tuesday and that Wednesday, I had some soreness, especially I found when sitting down and getting up. I definitely had the soreness in my abdomen, where the procedure took place. But it wasn't unbearable. It wasn't horrible. And I am not I don't have a high tolerance for pain. So for me, it was bearable. It wasn't too bad. But my focus for those next couple days when I got home was really drinking my water and getting my protein in, which is just so important to make sure you get your fluids in so you don't become dehydrated, and just making sure you get your protein in so your body can, heal and get the nutrients that it needs. So that was really my focus. This medicine cup was my best friend, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday when I got home. I would just pour this up to 2 ounces, 60 cc's, and I would just make sure I was just sipping. I set a reminder on my phone through the Verytastic app for every 15 minutes from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every 15 minutes it goes off. It's still set. It goes off just to remind me to drink water, and I just sip, sip. So I would sip, and then I would also take sipping breaks and then focus on sipping my protein, getting my protein in, drinking protein shakes, pre-made protein shakes, and powder protein shakes. So yes, that was kind of day 1 and 2. Little bit of soreness, focus on fluids, and also getting up to walk. Getting up to walk for me, I just got up every 1 to 2 hours and just kind of walked around my home. Sometimes I turned on my tracker just so I can see how much I was walking. And most of the times I would walk like a quarter of a mile at one time. So no more than 2 hours go by and I'm getting up and I'm just making sure like I'm up for 5 minutes and I'm just walking around. So that was the first couple days. By Thursday, I actually left out the house and I was at the store. I was walking around outside, going for a walk outside, but I still wasn't doing too much, not because of any pain, but just because I was so just exhausted. I kind of felt like a zombie. I had no energy. So even going to the store, my mother came in town because she does not live here, but she came in town, just to make sure that I was going to be okay and be with me during my surgery. So we got out and she wanted to go, to a couple stores. So we went to a couple stores and, I got in a little cart that was provided and just rode around because I couldn't do too much. I didn't have any energy, but I felt fine. I guess I'm just saying like a few days post-op, like I felt okay. So that was kind of like my first week. Wrapping up that weekend, it was just really the same. Making sure I'm getting my fluids in, which some days are better than others. By Thursday, I left my little medicine cup alone and I just went to bottled water. But it is a mind thing. So I like water. I do love water, to drink water, but I'm used to grabbing my bottle and just drinking it. Yeah. And I kept forgetting that. I still forget that. And I might intake a little too much water, then I'm like, ooh, that's a little uncomfortable. It's not painful, but it's definitely uncomfortable. It might be a little painful, but it's just mostly uncomfortable, just gulping too much. There is a lot of burping. There's a lot of air still there, and that water goes down and air comes up. That burp comes up. And at first, that first week, the burping was painful because I can feel it. Like I can feel it forming and I can feel it traveling all the way up. And it wasn't a horrible pain. It was just uncomfortable, highly uncomfortable. But as I progressed, by the end of that first week, it wasn't as bad. I was still burping, not as much, and the pain wasn't as bad when it was coming up. So that was like the first week. That's what my first week kind of looked like. And also my appetite. So my appetite the first week after surgery didn't exist. I didn't have an appetite. Like I wasn't hungry. I didn't have like hunger pains. I did have to participate in a liquid diet only 1 week before my surgery. So I'll make another video and I'll get more into the requirements and the days leading up to surgery and maybe even give a little bit more detail about the day of surgery. But just speaking about my hunger, I started my liquid diet 1 week before surgery. So about 2 weeks of just being on various stages of a liquid diet from the 1 week before and the 1 week after surgery, I wasn't hungry. I didn't have hunger pains. So that was it was really easy for me. I thought about food all the time though. I think about food all the time though, but that's something else. That's some mental things that I need to work through. That is eating disorder and a not so great relationship with food that I have. So that's something that I have to work on, and that's mental. But as far as like feeling like, oh man, I'm hungry, I didn't experience that. So that was definitely helpful, because even when I did think about food, just because, you get up, you eat breakfast or you eat dinner, or you think about what you're going to cook, or you go out and you see fast food and it's like, oh yeah, like those normal habits of food come up, but it wasn't like, oh, I just want food so bad. Like I wasn't thinking about food. Well, I was thinking about food, but my stomach wasn't thinking about food. So no issues there with like temptations, just the mental of me like wanting to eat because I know I haven't ate. So that was the first week. Going into the second week, I was able to increase my walking. So I did mention my first week, I was kind of just making sure I was just walking like a quarter of a mile at a time, and I did that every like other hour, maybe every hour, just got up and walked around. But by the time I got to week 2, I increased that to maybe like a mile and a half or 3/4 of a mile I could walk at a time. And the soreness was still there. I used a lot of ice on my abdomen area where my incisions were, where the soreness was. Definitely advised that you cannot use, or I was advised not to use any heat. So couldn't use a heating pad on your incisions, but you definitely can use ice. And that helps so much with like the soreness that I had. Like I said, for me, it was standing up after sitting down or sitting down, like that movement. It was just soreness. I am a wild sleeper. I start on one side, I go to the other side, I sleep my back, I sleep my stomach. Like I sleep all kind of ways. And I do a lot of tossing and turning throughout the night. So that was very painful that night for me. That first week and maybe like half of the second week. It took about a week and a half for that soreness to kind of go away. But ice helps with that. So sometimes I would ice a little bit before I go to bed because I know I'm going to be tossing and turning, or I'll get up and I would immediately ice just because it might be kind of sore because of how I was sleeping. So ice really helped out with the soreness. But in week 2, other than that, like soreness, I was feeling good. I returned to work that following Monday after my surgery. So I only had 1 week. I only took 1 week off of work. I do have a desk job, and at the moment, I'm working from home. So I felt like it would be okay to go back to work. If I could go back, I would do it differently. I would take at least 2 weeks off. Going back to work that next week for me, it wasn't challenging because I felt okay. Like I didn't have a lot of pain. Like I said, I did have the soreness, but that's okay. The ice really helped out with that. But I had such low energy. I was just so tired. I took so many naps that week. My second week, I took a lot. Well, I'm still taking a lot of naps because I'm still tired, but not as tired as I was during week 1 and week 2. I was just very exhausted. So week 2, exhaustion was still there. The soreness was still there, but not as bad. And I was able to walk a little bit more at one time. So that is kind of how week 2 went. I started to drink water a little bit more fast than I was. So I told you by the end of week 1, I stopped drinking out of my medicine cup and I went to just a water bottle or a cup. But I was actually able to take more than just a little bitty sip. It might have been still a little sip, but it wasn't a little bitty sip. So the amount of water I could intake at once increased, not a lot, but it did increase. So those are really my main differences from week 1 and week 2. At this point, I am still on a liquid diet. It is referred to as a full liquid phase. So I can have like milk. I can also have pudding that's thinned out, and sometimes you have to be on a clear liquid phase where you just have to drink water. So you can't maybe have any pre-made liquid shakes, but you can have a protein powder mixed with water opposed to being mixed with milk. So I have been on the full liquid phase since day 3. Day 1 and day 2 was a clear liquid. So that was my surgery was on a Monday. So that's day 0. So Tuesday and Wednesday, I was on clear liquids. And then Thursday until now, I am still on a liquid phase. So for me, my full liquid diet ends tomorrow. Is the last day of my Full liquids. I am really tired of being on liquids. So it's been a long time. Today is the 11th, and I've been on liquids since March 13th. So it has been almost a full 30 days that I've been on full liquids, with five of those days being clear liquids. So that is how my surgeon's program was. Everybody's program is different from the durations, whatever requirements that you have to meet. Everybody's is different, but mine is full liquids. So yes, week 2, I was still on full liquids. Now it's week 3. And I am still on full liquids. Tomorrow I will do full liquids, and then I will graduate to my next stage, which is pureed. So I'll talk about more pureed in next week's update because I haven't gotten to it yet. So week 3, last week, which, was going up into my third week. It was good. I actually was able to increase my duration of walking to 2 miles. So before I had my surgery, one thing I was trying to do was get in the habit of like doing something to work out, because I know for me that once I'm cleared to work out, I would like to do some strength training and just be more active, more physical. So I started doing that by walking because I didn't do anything. So I wanted to block out like an hour to an hour and a half each day to walking. So that's what I was doing before surgery. So I was trying to work my way back up to doing that after surgery. I did check with my surgeon, and she's like, whenever you feel up to it, you can do it. Just take your time and ease into it. Don't try to go walk 2 miles and then you're 2 miles away from, your vehicle or your home, and then you don't feel well to make it back. So that was her only advice, to me. It was no like, wait this time, wait that time. Like the walking, you feel it good, go do it. So I was really trying to like work my way back up there. I would usually walk about 3-4 miles a day. I'm a very it's a very casual, slow paced walk. I'm not out like power walking. So it take me about an hour and a half, and I'll walk 3 to 4.5 miles depending on the day, 3 to 5, like just depending on the day. So in week 3, what changed for me is I had a little bit more energy. I'm still taking naps and I'm still exhausted. Which, before I move on to my next thing, energy. So I'm still low energy and I'm still exhausted. I did have my check-in with my surgeon. I did have that appointment. I brought up this concern, and I'm not getting in enough calories. So that is why she said you're really tired right now. But once you start to get more calories in and really hit your protein goals for the day, like you'll start to feel a lot better. So that's my spiel with energy. So from week 1 and 2 going into week 3, the difference for me was a little bit more energy, but I was still tired and I was still taking a lot of naps, still kind of like a zombie, but more energy. I was able to increase my walking time. So I was walking week 1 about a quarter of a mile at a time, week 2 about a half mile to like 3/4 of a mile at a time. And then going into week 3, I went back to walking 2 miles at a time. So I've been able to, get back up to like my 4 miles a day. I would walk like a mile at once 4 different times throughout the day, or walk 2 miles 2 different times of the day, or like whatever fits into my schedule. But I am able to walk more and feel okay. I don't feel as drained now that I'm in week 3. So that changed, and my water intake. I'm able to really like get water down faster than I was in week 1 and week 2. Of course, nowhere near as the same as I was able to drink it, but I am able to get water in more quickly than I was. And I have less burping, so I'm not burping as much. I'm still burping, and I think that is probably just going to be a thing. But I am, especially with the water, like if I do like a couple gulps, like within 10 minutes, then I'll have some burping come up. It's a little uncomfortable, but not anywhere close to where it was before, and it's just kind of like you can tell birth was coming because my face would probably just start to do some of this, but now it's not as uncomfortable. So that is really just the difference between week 1, 2, and 3 for me, and how I've just been progressing. Other than that, my incisions are healing good. They're scabbing up and the scabs are falling off, and it's really nice to see like how small my incisions are going to be. I had 5 incisions. It's kind of like the bottom 4, kind of like a smiley face, and then I have 1 incision at the top, really little cute incision. So I'm feeling good. I'm just really trying to focus on hitting my goals, which is consuming 80 grams of protein, 80 to 100 grams of protein a day. I am not doing that. Some days I'm getting close. Most days I am not. The water goal is 64 ounces a day, and I'm getting there. I am getting my fluids in, which it's 64 ounces of liquid. It doesn't necessarily have to be just water, especially in this stage, until I go into the puree phases, and those rules kind of look a little different. But that's just where I'm at right now, and I'm just walking. So I'm walking and trying to get my fluids in. I hope that this was helpful. I know it's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I definitely look forward to creating maybe some more detailed videos about what my road to surgery kind of looked like, the days leading up to surgery, and my actual surgery day. I didn't want to jump into all of that in this video because then it would have just been a cluster. I already feel like it was a little bit of a cluster, so I hope that it wasn't too bad. But this is my first update, y'all. I'm sorry. I'll be better next time. I'll try. So yeah, that is all that I have. I hope that you gained something from this, my update. I will be back next Monday with week 4's update. If you have any questions, please comment and let me know. If you made it throughout this long rambling video, thank you so much. Thank you. Please like, please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. It's super new. So please subscribe. If you know anybody else going through this process, please share my video with them. Follow me. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, Sleeved and Awesome, one word. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.